WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Everyone, shock is still rattling Pickens County tonight with the pending closing of the only hospital there. Tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from the chairman of the Pickens County Medical Center Board. WCBI's Bobby Martinez joins us live in the studio with more on that conversation. So, Bobby, what more can you tell us tonight?
The news of the closing is still fresh to many people in the county. Still, many people that I spoke to have numerous questions. McDaniel says the board did all they could to keep the hospital open in the end. Shutting it down was the only choice.
This has been a very difficult process.
It has been a tough 24 hours for people in Pickens County. A hospital that has been convenient to many for medical care will be closed for good by the end of the work week, leaving workers just days to find a new job and patients scattering to seek medical care miles away from their home. So the question many have been asking is, how did this happen?
We have for quite some time been back and forth due to federal regulations and due to federal funding. We've been looking at an opportunity to help our hospital in many different ways, and we come to the understanding that from a financial standpoint, it was going to be inevitable for us to continue to operate our hospital.
McDaniel says he understands workers are upset. He adds the hospital administrators are doing all they can to help them find jobs.
We're working with local agencies to try to get those employees replaced to different places, opportunity for jobs. We definitely want to give as much opportunity available to people. We're looking at how we can revamp and restructure things to help the organization in some areas that would provide it opportunity for the people here in the county.
As for the patients,
all patients will be definitely cared for, no doubt about it. And when it comes that time, those patients will be have an opportunity to be transferred to the place that's going to provide the best medical care for them.
Sadell Gaines, a current patient at the hospital, says she is upset the hospital is closing and is worried about the other patients that are in need.
I'm just worried really about the older people because it's hard for them to get back and forth. Even if they're sick, they have to call a rescue squad, and it takes them too long to even get there.
McDaniel says the board will continue to provide the county as much help as possible to get them through this tough time. Joey, back to you.
If you're looking for peanuts and rolls at your next meal, there's one less choice in Columbus. A sign on Logan's Roadhouse restaurant tells customers that the eatery is closed. Online reports show that the chain recently closed restaurants in Florida, Louisiana, Indiana, and Kentucky. Logan's Roadhouse filed for bankruptcy in 2016. The company's website no longer lists a Columbus location. This restaurant was part of a development of hotels and a bank on the busy 18th Avenue North Corridor in Columbus. The Mississippi Economic Council tour continues to make its way through the state, and today's stop was right here in Columbus. Organizers and community leaders were there to hear the message of building a bigger and brighter Mississippi. The council focused on strategies to target workforce development and training, education, equality, and economy growth. An update out of Lowndes County tonight. The water is back on in Artesia. Everyone in the town was left dry after a main water line burst last night. Our Stephanie Poole was there when they turned on the water today. She joins us live in the studio with more. Stephanie.
That's right, Joey. Around 700 people who live in Artesia, and they nearly went 15 hours without running water. Their only option was to visit stores and restaurants with hopes to make it through the night. You never know what you have until it's gone. That's what Artesia residents are saying after losing a valuable resource, water.
You couldn't use the bathroom. If you want to do something, you couldn't flush the commode or nothing like that. So it was kind of hard. It was real hard.
Lynn Ferguson says it was a rough couple of hours. She says residents were stocking up on water and local stores almost ran out.
About 15 jugs. I stocked up because I didn't know when it was going to come back on. So yeah, I was prepared. I had to get up and heat water up and do the same thing and get going, brush my teeth with a bottle of water.
However, by the afternoon, community members were met with some good news. Mayor Jimmy Sanders says crews were out working on water lines since 10 o'clock Monday night.
We got the drain system up under the streets, and the water was going through the drain systems, and it wasn't coming out on top.
Sanders hopes something like this won't happen again in the future.
We're so glad our citizens were so courteous to to the town of Artesia in their time of need for water. Because most of the people don't understand that water is really valuable in the community. So you don't know how valuable it is until you don't have it.
Thank God they got it going back.
Artesia is under a boil water advisory until further notice.
Houston School District voters are deciding the fate of a $9 million bond package that would pay for improvements at every school. School leaders want to use the money to replace heating and air conditioning systems, along with new roofs at some campuses and adding security measures. It has been decades since the district had any major renovations. One voter we talked with believes the bond package will help the entire community.
And it's very important that we, as parents and grandparents and citizens, support this program and vote in favor of the school bond, because we need to get the money in order to be able to help our children. The children are the future of the world. And if we don't do and help them now, well, then we are going to disable them in the future. They won't be able to do the things that we need them to do.
Voting is taking place at Houston Upper Elementary School until 7. Voters in Alabama are also at the polls today, and one of the biggest election days of the year. Folks are voting for a presidential candidate in the Democratic primary and the U.S. Senate seat in the Republican primary. Voters will also decide the fate of Amendment 1. That will decide if changes will be made to the Alabama State Board of Education. Alabama is one of 13 states voting during Super Tuesday. Again, polls there are also open until 7.
It's been generally quiet weather-wise around our neck of the woods for the last 24 hours, but the same cannot be said for our neighbors up to the north. Look at all of these storm reports: hail, flooding, wind, even a major tornado traveling right through the middle portion of Tennessee and went right through the city of Nashville, unfortunately causing nearly 20 fatalities as of right now. Of course, our thoughts go out to our friends up in Tennessee. We've been there before. We know exactly how it feels. Fortunately, though, none of that to worry about tonight. We will throw in about a 10% chance for some isolated showers. Better rain chances through the day tomorrow. I'll tell you about that coming up in just a little bit. Joey.
A man ordered to serve 120 years in prison will soon be coming home. Felix Wynn was resentenced this morning in Oktibbeha County Circuit Court. Judge Lee Howard sentenced him to time served, which was 13 years and 10 months, and dropped a $2 million fine. Wynn was convicted of 2 counts of selling cocaine in 2006 and sentenced as a habitual offender. Wynn's attorney argued before the state Supreme Court that at the time of the sentencing, the judge was under the impression that Wynn's sentence had to be doubled. State law says a judge may double the sentence. The state's high court granted the resentencing. Wynn's family is elated at the new ruling.
He's ready, yes. He has already said how he's going to tutor the kids and talk to the kids about doing right and following the law. He's a changed man. I'm just so ecstatic. I don't know what to say. I am so happy. I am so happy. God is good.
It will take a couple of days for the paperwork to be processed, and then Wynn will be released from the Oktibbeha County Jail. He must pay court costs. The demand against Aberdeen Mayor Maurice Howard has been paid to the state auditor's office. In a press release, the state auditor, Shad White, reports a surety bond company paid more than $11,000. Howard was indicted on 5 counts of embezzlement. Prosecutors accuse him of taking travel advance checks from the city and never going to the out-of-town meetings from April 2017 to September 2017. Although the money has been repaid, the criminal charges against Howard will move forward. The mayor has denied the allegations. A check has been sent to Aberdeen to recoup the loss plus interest. Investigative costs went to the state auditor's office. From Monroe County to Afghanistan, a former North Mississippi officer is taking his training skills across the globe. That story coming up after the break. New at 6 tonight, a North Mississippi man takes his skills and law enforcement knowledge to other countries, helping those countries train and protect. And his career started in Tupelo. WCBI's Allie Martin has the story.
While most people keep up with developments in the Middle East through various news outlets, Tim Green has a unique perspective of not only being there, but also being involved in the efforts of the United States government to stop terrorists.
Most recently, I was the director or the resident program manager of the counterterrorism programs for the State Department in Afghanistan.
Green worked with the diplomatic security services of the Department of State. In Afghanistan, the mission is to work with the government there to root out and stop terrorists before they strike. The counterterrorism operatives are known as the triple units.
Each unit is has a triple number, like 222. Crisis Response Unit 222 is the Kabul counterterrorism unit. There's 7 different units nationwide. There are about 6 squadrons of 60 operators in each squadron. So there's a large number of operators out there, and their responsibility is to go after the bad guys. They get their intelligence, their target packages, their warrants from the Supreme Court, and they go after these guys and arrest them.
Along with helping coordinate anti-terrorism operations and strategies, Green was also called on to help provide security for diplomats and other high-ranking government officials, such as the visit by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. During his 7 years in Afghanistan, Green says he noticed major improvements in the country where al-Qaeda terrorist camps were located before the United States drove them out after the September 11th, 2001 attacks.
You know, we have the right approach, in my opinion, where we're mentoring, training, and providing them the equipment and assets that they need to do the job themselves. Keeps our people off the front line, keeps us safe, and they get to take control and have ownership of their own national security.
And Green says the recent peace agreement between the U.S. and Taliban is a good sign, but it's too early to tell what long-term impact the deal will have. In the meantime, Green knows that some of the best in the State Department will be working hard to keep the peace. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
All right, well, not as many showers out there today, but that's all about to change.
Yeah, that is about to change, of course. You know, stick around for a day. Everything's going to change. If you don't like the weather today, we've got a little bit of everything for you in the next 3 days. Lots of rain for tomorrow. Some places could pick up 1 to 2 inches. Clearing out by Thursday. That's going to shape us up for a really nice weekend. I'll have a full look at that 7-day forecast for you coming up right after this. Stay with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
We didn't see much in the way of rainfall today, but as you can see on the Alpha Insurance Network time lapse from here in downtown Columbus, it still wasn't that great of a day. We had lots of low-hanging clouds, a little bit of fog and mist out there. And the Columbus Air Force Base actually did pick up about 3/10 of an inch of rain. So there was some rain out there, but generally most of us just stayed dry and overcast. There is still some rain out there right now. Now, I'm not 100% certain that all of this is reaching the ground. We've still got a little bit of dry air underneath us, but certainly possible that some of us could be seeing a few showers. We've got some returns showing up just to the west of Starkville along Highway 82 and back along I-55. And I think we could see a few more showers get in here overnight tonight. I think better chances for rain do come in by around sunrise. Temperatures don't really fall much. We'll stay in the mid-50s overnight tonight. 10% chance for some rain, at least until we get closer to sunrise. Now, let me show you the setup on Futurecast. We've got on the fronts, we've got on the rain. We'll show you what's going on here in the next few hours. There's that cold front that came through just a couple of hours ago. That's going to help to knock our temperatures down just a little bit, but really not much. And what happens over the next 24 hours or so starts to lift back north as a warm front, as that low pressure comes out of Texas, but it doesn't get too far. So what happens is when we're on the north side of this low pressure, we get a lot of rainfall, some heavier rainfall in spots. The areas to the south of the low pressure between the warm front and the cold front, that's the folks that are going to have to deal with some severe weather tomorrow. Fortunately, though, that's going to stay along the Gulf Coast and not be an issue for us. But we still are going to see a lot of rain through the day tomorrow. Starting off 9 a.m. out the door, temperatures don't rise much through the day. We'll stay in the mid-50s. Rain showers across the area. Even more rain by lunchtime. Definitely one of those days you're going to want to eat lunch inside and probably stay inside the office for tomorrow. Maybe pack the lunch. Rain all through the area by lunchtime, even into the afternoon hours, getting off of school tomorrow. Still rain, so pack the umbrella for the kids tomorrow. And believe it or not, even through dinner time, we still are probably going to be seeing some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder through the day tomorrow. Really not expecting any severe weather, no strong storms expected, but anywhere from 1 to 2, possibly 3 inches of rain possible. Better chances along and south of Highway 82 for some of that heavy rain. Now, fortunately, after Thursday, we're going to see a clearing trend. Sunny skies return as we get into the latter portion of Thursday and into your weekend. So again, we'll get through the bad part first. Wednesday, rain, morning showers for Thursday, but after that, beautiful weather for Friday and into the weekend. Temperatures in the mid and upper 60s for Sunday. Nice. But believe it or not, more showers and storms for Monday and Tuesday.
Shocking, I tell you.
I know. I don't think anybody's surprised at this point. But hey, we've got the nice weekend in there. We did that for y'all.
Exactly.
Yep.
We're just living for the weekend
Yep.
still, right?
Yep. Enjoy that Saturday and Sunday while you can.
All right. Thanks, Trevor. Well, Columbus and Calhoun City punched their ticket to a state championship. See the highlights from Jackson coming up next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Day 2 of semifinals at the Big House down in Jackson. Class 2A and 5A in action today. The Calhoun City Lady Wildcats hit with heartbreak a season ago, coming up just short of a title appearance, hoping to put that loss behind them. 2A girls semifinals, Lady Wildcats taking on Puckett. First quarter, Puckett comes out of the gates red hot. Mary Anna Dearman, corner 3 is good. It's an 11-2 Puckett lead early. But Calhoun City races back in a hurry. Nashira Jennings to Quay Bailey and 1 bucket. Lady Wildcats cut it to a 2-point ball game. Second quarter, Jennings dish to Conley Langford. Corner triple of her own. Calhoun City taking a 4-point lead. And if 1-3 wasn't good enough, here's another. Langford again. Buckets. Calhoun City with an 8-point lead now, and they dominate the rest of the way. 2 minutes remaining in the half. Mays crossover. Pull up Jimmy from about 10 feet. Calhoun City dominating the second half. They're off to the state championship with a 73-55 win. Columbus looking to advance to the 5A state championship, taking on Laurel. First quarter, Ania Sadler guesses right. Steal drives and 1 bucket. 8-3 Columbus. Second quarter, Denijah Jackson starts the break. Sadler going to hit the little Euro step here. Way to gather off the glass for 2. Sadler and Jackson had it rolling all day long. Well, one more time for 3. Columbus takes a 5-point lead in the first half. 1 minute remaining in the second. Sadler with another steal. Bounce pass to Jackson for the easy layup. Columbus is heading to the state championship. They defeat Laurel 57-29. So taking a look at the state championship schedule, tipping off on Thursday at the Pavilion in Oxford. Class 1A and 4A start things off. Pine Grove and Baldwin facing off on the girls' side at 1 p.m. Baldwin and Ingomar on the boys' side at 3. Then later in the day on Thursday, Ripley versus Moss Point for the 4A girls' state championship at 5. Greenwood taking on Raymond at 7 on the boys' side. Then for your Friday, the Pavilion at Ole Miss. Calhoun City versus Coahoma County at 1. Coahoma County and Potts Camps, the boys matchup at 3. Columbus, they're still waiting to see who they'll play between the winner of Vicksburg and Brookhaven. That game will be at 5. Boys for 5A will play later tonight. Starkville and Houston, boys, they're the only 2 remaining area teams that'll be playing a semifinal matchup tomorrow. Hilltoppers playing at 1:30. Starkville playing at 7. The SEC women's basketball coaches releasing their all-SEC teams. A trio of Bulldogs get the nod. Rakia Jackson, Jordan Danbury, and Jessica Carter listed as second-team all-SEC for 2020. Jackson also named to the SEC all-freshman team, and Danbury receives all-defensive team honors. South Carolina head coach Don Staley was named Coach of the Year. Kentucky's Ryan Howard named Player of the Year. And South Carolina freshman Aaliyah Boston named Defensive and Freshman Player of the Year. Speaking of later today, Mississippi State basketball in action against South Carolina right now. Ole Miss baseball in action. Make sure you tune in those highlights at 10.
A must-win for
Yeah,
Mississippi
absolutely.
State.
You got to win out and get some wins in the SEC tournament if they'll be playing in meaningful basketball in March.
All right, thanks, Tom. We'll be right back. Stay with us. You can make a life-saving donation tomorrow. The WCBI Columbus Community Blood Drive will be from 9 until 4. The blood mobile will be parked on 5th Street South. Donors must be at least 16 years old, and you'll receive a St. Patrick's Day themed t-shirt. Well, supplies last.
Yeah, you know, Joey, it's a great day for some indoor activities. Obviously, you want to do something inside, so come on down to the Bloodmobile. Stay inside the bus because we're going to have lots of rain tomorrow. Better weather for Friday and the weekend.
And they usually give you something good to eat, like a cookie or
so you don't pass out.
Yeah, there you go. All right, thanks for joining us, everyone.